While many import brands now build vehicles in North America, a lot of their cars and SUVs still must endure a long sea cruise. But what happens to these true imports between ship and dealership? They don't just take on gas and go. To find out, our FYI reporter Yolanda Vasquez trekked to the Port of Baltimore, one of America's busiest entry points for imported cars, to check out the port in import.
The Port of Baltimore is a waterfront workhorse. No matter what time of day, this hectic harbor is teeming with activity. Huge cranes that seem to tower endlessly in the air load and unload containers filled with precious cargo. Some even carry items you'd never expect to see inside.
Baltimore has always done very well with automobiles.
Executive Director James White says a few years ago the port developed a strategic plan to aggressively grow their automotive business.
We figured if we could produce choices for the car manufacturers, both import and export, where they could shop their ocean freight rates, we'd be creating a very competitive field for them.
White's theory has proven successful. Baltimore is one of the top 5 auto ports in the nation and number 2 in the country for auto exports.
Chrysler's doing very well this year. In the past, they were doing in the neighborhood of 60 to 80,000 cars. This year, we're expecting to do 200,000 cars in export, which is a real boom for us.
The port has close to 500 acres and various terminals dedicated to automobiles. This aerial view shows a sea of cars parked at their Dundalk Marine Terminal.
We handle just about every manufacturer: Lotus, Porsche, Mercedes, Jaguar, Volvo, Ford, Chrysler. The list is as long as your arm.
The Port of Baltimore handles over 500,000 vehicles, and most of them come in on huge vessels like the one behind me. Now, it may take a ship several weeks to get here, but once it arrives, the unloading process happens rather quickly. One by one, each car rolls down the ramp in a rhythmic routine. More than 20 longshoremen drive the Porsche vehicles to a designated spot in a nearby parking lot. It takes less than 3 hours to unload 300 vehicles. These workers won't spend nearly as much time unloading this container filled with 5 Lotus vehicles. Each car is held in place with tie-down straps that wrap around the tires and connect to the deck of the container. The handlers wear white uniforms so as not to scratch the vehicles as they move around in cramped quarters.
It's very tight space. You just have to use extreme caution to prevent damage to the vehicles.
A quick battery hookup and these sporty British imports are ready to be inspected. Workers check the undercarriage for damage, tires for any scuffs or scratches, paint for any nicks and dings.
We're looking for any imperfection in the vehicle, any damages that may have been caused in transit, or anything that's wrong with the vehicle that could have been caused somewhere else.
After a full inspection, the vehicles are driven over to Pasha Automotive Services, a brand new facility designed to process high-end vehicles.
Everything from a mirror installation to an air conditioning installation to turbocharger installations, etc., etc.
Vice President Earl Hansen says the auto processor is also equipped to handle paint and body work, repairing minor scratches, dings, or dents. An important last step in preparing Lotus vehicles for distribution involves placing a protective plastic covering over the nose of the car and around the wheel openings.
So any stones that fly up and hit the car won't cause a stone bruise to the paint.
Hansen, who's been in the automotive processing business for 35 years, says most people have no idea how much prep work it takes to get vehicles ready for sale.
There's a lot of things that happen that's behind the scenes before they buy that pretty little red car on the showroom floor.
And the folks at the Port of Baltimore are more than happy to make sure each car is showroom ready before it's delivered to a local dealership near you.